Good evening. I'd like to call to order the regular meeting of the Campbell City Council for Tuesday, February 17th, 2026. We'll have a roll call, please.
Councilmember Lopez.
Here.
Councilmember Hines.
Present.
Councilmember Vibey.
Present.
Vice Mayor Scazola. Absent. Mayor Furtado.
Here.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. This evening, we're recognizing the students who participated in the Santa Clara County 2025 Synopsis Championship Science Fair. Through this annual fair competition, hundreds of students are challenged to go beyond their classroom studies to do independent project-based research. They work independently in teams to address questions in the field of computer science, environmental science, medicine and health, chemistry, biology, and half dozen categories. So I want to congratulate all of you and thank you very much for your projects and your presentations. These are not simple, but very complex projects. And our office is preparing certificates for you individually, but I would like to invite all of you individually, if you like, to come up and briefly speak about your project so that we might have just a little better appreciation for what you did. So if you'd care to do so, I'd like you to come up one by one and just make a few comments about your project and anything that related to that you would like to tell us.
Hi everybody, my name is Christine Wang. I'm currently an 8th grader at the Harper School, which is around this area. I wanted to say it is my absolute pleasure to meet you all. I'm so honored to be here today. And my project in 2025 was on utilizing fruit peel waste in order to remove dangerous heavy metals. I tested 7 different types, so lead, cadmium, copper, iron, zinc, silver, and nickel from contaminated water. And I was able to corroborate my research through reaching out to a professional local laboratory, and they use atomic absorption spectroscopy, which is like a specific method of analysis to show that my filters successfully removed 10 ppm concentrations of all 7 types of metals down to nearly non-detectable levels, which were able to outperform even the US Environmental Protection Agency and also the World Health Organization standards for water by up to approximately 3,000 times.
Thank you very much. Very worthwhile project.
Hi, my name is Sophia, and I'm currently a 9th grader at the Harper School. So my project in 2025 was testing different types of caffeinated drinks on the environment of planaria and their nervous systems, which can be directly correlated to the human nervous system. So I tested how different teas and coffees would affect our attention spans and reaction times. Thank you.
Excuse me, I kind of lost my voice this weekend. But basically, I'm a 10th grader at Basis Independent, and my project was transforming MRI data into latent space embeddings using multi-head learning to understand Alzheimer's progression. So essentially, I was trying to create a new data form that would allow models to get a better understanding of what was going on in the brain with patients with Alzheimer's by transforming MRI data, which is essentially a brain scan, into a simple dimensional space, and using that, I was able to increase his performance and detect patients with Alzheimer's better. Apologies again.
That's quite all right. Thank you, however, for coming. Yes, thank you.
Good evening. My name is Yashnal Mohanty. I'm a senior at Westmont High School. And my project in 2025 was pertaining long-term drought forecasting in the Western United States, where I compared 4 machine learning statistical models and was basically able to quantify the effect that oceanic data has on long-term drought effects in the Western United States, specifically targeting Colorado as a target region. And I guess the novelty was regarding the fact that multivariate ENSO, which is derivative of the southern oscillation patterns in the Pacific Ocean, has an impact on drought patterns in the Western United States. Thank you.
Very interesting. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Kirk Kang, and I'm a 9th grader at Westmont High School. And last year, I created a device and an app, both linked together to track nutrition data and what you eat every day, and also allergy data. And yeah, thank you.
Very much.
Oh, okay. So hello, my name is Ellie, and I'm a junior at Westmont High School. And thank you so much for giving us the opportunity to be recognized and for encouraging young scientists like me and the others to pursue like real world challenges. My project was on developing a contactless heart health monitoring system. And the way I did that was I used a technology called RPPG, which utilizes camera sensors and computer vision in order to extract like vitals such as like heart rate and various other metrics like in a non-contact way. So essentially I developed an AI model that was able to take in a video of a person's face just through a simple webcam and then extract or look at the sort of color changes in the person's face and look at the patterns and ultimately obtain key heart health metrics that people can then use to evaluate their cardiovascular health. And I guess the motivation behind this project was I really believe that healthcare should be accessible to all, especially for people who might not be able to access, like expensive medical equipment. And so potentially this project could be used for helping improve telemedicine in rural areas or helping seniors with at-home monitoring. And I really hope that I can continue this research further and try to maybe develop it into some sort of a device that can help people and make healthcare more accessible. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Anyone else? Okay, well, let me thank you again very much. And like I said, we will provide you some certificates of recognition for these wonderful achievements and for all that you've done and for the potential that you represent for society to help all of us in the future and help preserve our planet. I also wanted to recognize and thank a former member of the San Jose City Council, Forrest Williams, for being here this evening. And I know you helped coordinate this project for a number of years, and I thank you very much and welcome once again to the city of Campbell, and thank you for all of your service to the community.
If I can just make a comment as well from with the science background myself and science degrees, it's just what impressive very much the science and engineering projects that you did. But was also impressive was that your elevator pitch was very right on and absolutely very impressive to be able to have you be able to succinctly describe your project in terms in a short session. So excellent work on both fronts.
I'd like to build on that and just keep at it with everything you're doing. From yeah, I'm sure not all of you expected that you'd come up and have to say a few words before the council, but y'all did a phenomenal job. And so just that combination of the STEM knowledge with the ability to clearly explain those concepts to an audience will just take you so far, even beyond, I think, many of the adults in the workplace. So when you get to that stage, you'll be in such a great place, no matter what you do, whether you keep with the STEM learning and exploration, or you take in a different direction. These are skills, asking the right questions, research, presenting them to an audience that will serve you for anything you do. And to all the parents in the room, I just see the looks of pride on your face. I know you're already doing this and it doesn't need to be said, but please keep encouraging that spark and the youth that we see here, because we need it. And this is truly one of my favorite occasions all year. Thank you for being here.
Likewise, I want to add on what my colleagues have said, and really want to thank the students for coming to the meeting and sharing their experience with us, and the research and the project that you worked on. It's very commendable, and you have a bright future, and continue to strive for the next level, because we need future leaders like yourselves in our community and in our world. Thank you.
We look forward to hearing about your projects again as you continue your studies. So thank you so much. Thank you. I haven't had an opportunity yet. Yeah. Okay, there are no communications and petitions. And I would, at this point in time, like to invite the city attorney to report on the results of the closed session the council had.
Yes, Mayor Furtado, members of the council, as you are aware, in executive session, the council authorized by a 4-0 vote for my office to pursue a workplace violence restraining order to protect one of the employees of the city who has been experiencing some harassment from a member of the public. The vote was 4-0 with Council Member Scazola being absent.
Thank you. We now move on to oral requests. This would be the time on tonight's council meeting agenda for any member of the public to address the city council on any subject not otherwise on tonight's agenda. Do we have any oral requests? I do have one card from Laura Reese.
Hi, I'm Laura Reese. I live on Futrall Drive. I was here 2 weeks ago to talk about flock cameras, and I reported that something like half of the searches from Campbell Police didn't come with justifications, and I wanted to correct that record. I talked to Chief Berg, and I looked back at the data, and there was a database artifact, and in fact, the number of times they had justifications was over 99%. It's like 99.5%, and all the justifications were like normal police business that you'd expect, nothing out of the ordinary. So I wanted to correct that. And I've since had a conversation with Chief Berg, and and we talked about sort of the concerns of a surveillance state and being wary of that. And I'm happy that we're on the same page with the desire to tend towards self-hosting data in local databases and not on the cloud. And I would encourage that going forward, if any policies come up before the city council, that when you think about people living here and feeling at liberty and having their privacy respected, that the data that's collected is like gold to people who are criminals, whether they're in whatever organization, and locking it down and protecting it and keeping it from being searchable by anybody who doesn't have justification for it is highly important to myself and a lot of my neighbors. So I'm really happy that it sounds like we're on the same page. And I apologize for that error when I was here before. What's that? Oh, and that's all I wanted to say.
It's very nice to speak to us once again.
Yeah.
And I'm very pleased that you had the opportunity to meet with the chief and discuss the matter in more detail.
Mhm.
So the points you raise are important ones that we likewise feel concerned about these matters as well. So thank you.
Yeah, thanks.
Does anyone else wish to address the council under oral requests? And there's no one online. Okay, thank you. We'll move. We now move on to council announcements. So I'll provide the following information. Our city is seeking community-minded individuals to serve on either the Bicycle and Pedestrian Advisory Committee or of the Planning Commission. These groups help guide how Campbell grows and moves and also reviews projects and helps us to support safer and more connected neighborhoods. To learn more or apply, please visit the city's website, campbellca.gov/boards-commissions, or you can contact the city clerk's office at 866-2117. The city is offering grant funding through the Neighborhood Association Assistance Grant Program. It's a topic we've mentioned once before here, our Campbell neighborhoods. The Campbell neighborhood associations are encouraged to apply, and the applications will be open until Monday, February the 23rd. More information can be found on the city's website. The Campbell Police Foundation is holding their annual fundraising breakfast on Saturday, March 14th from 9 in the morning till 10:30 a.m. at the Home Church on Winchester Boulevard. And the tickets are $30 per person and can be purchased on the foundation's website online, campbellpolicefoundation.org. And finally, the AARP Foundation is offering free income tax assistance through April 14th at our community center in room C34. This service is available to low and moderate income adults and families who are 18 years of age and older. Likewise, you can contact the city's website for further information. Those are the council announcements for this evening. The council will now move on to the consent calendar. These are items 7.1 to 7.5 on tonight's agenda. The council will address these in a single motion unless a member of the council, a member of the staff, or a member of the public would like us to pull an item for individual and additional discussion. Does any member of the council wish to pull an item? Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry, I don't need to pull it.
Okay.
May I just make a brief comment? I just want to express my appreciation for the Bonet Trust for the $10,500 donation to the Historical Museum at Ainsley House. And I'm happy to move consent if there aren't further comments.
I'll take some more comments, but likewise, thank you for making note of that. Joan Bonnet was a very active community person, and her family was as well in Santa Clara County. And it's very nice of her trust, which she left, and in this case, $10,000 for our Campbell Museum in Historical. So thank you for the comment, and we do recognize and thank the trustees of the Joan Bonnet Trust. Would anyone else like to pull an item? Any member of the public or staff? Seeing none, we will consider the consent calendar now as a whole, items 7.1 to 7.5. If I could have a motion.
So moved.
Motion to approve the consent calendar. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by Councilmember Bybee. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Lopez.
Aye.
Councilmember Hines.
Aye.
Councilmember Bybee.
Aye.
Mayor Furtado.
Aye. Thank you. We now move on to public hearings and introductions of ordinances. This is item number 8, and we have one item, 8.1, a public hearing to consider the adoption of a resolution directing the Community Development Director to proceed with the abatement of hazardous vegetation. And I believe our building official, Bob Lennon, will make the presentation tonight.
Good evening. I'm Bob Lennon, the building official for City of Campbell. There's not going to be much of a presentation tonight, so I'm going to read something and we're going to understand what this is. This is a public hearing to hear objections from property owners regarding removal of hazardous vegetation on private property or public streets or alleys. Following the public hearing, it would be appropriate for the council to adopt a resolution directing the Community Development Director to proceed with the abatement of hazardous vegetation by the County of Santa Clara County Consumer and Environmental Protection Agency. And Garrett is here representing the county someplace. Is Garrett here? Garrett is there, and he's very familiar with the program, so any direct questions, he can answer that.
Thank you, Bob. Questions by members of the council? Seeing none, I will open the public hearing and invite any member of the public to comment on this particular topic, or any of the homeowners who might be present that wish to make a comment. Welcome, please.
Good evening. My name is Leanne Knight. I live at 904 Hazel Avenue, Campbell. I received a letter from the county about a notice to abate weeds, and made reference that I could be put on a list. I was here last year. I thought that it was specifically voted on that this my property was being exempted from that list, so I'm not sure why I'm getting it again. I maintain my property. I've just spent a considerable amount of money to do yard cleanup on my property, getting rid of the weeds that grow like crazy over the past rainy period with the sunshine, and so everything is back to its clean and neat. Certainly less than 6-inch weeds. Actually, they're at ground level, and trimmed away all of the hazardous, trimmed back branches that might have been approaching my roof, out under the eaves. I've done everything that has been outlined since last year. I'm not sure why I'm getting this again, but I object to having my name on this list.
Thank you. I do remember you coming last year, and as a matter of fact,
And I
I
have
do thought that
photographs.
we did resolve it at that time.
Yes, so
I will refer the matter to our staff to look at one more time here and see if we can address this matter. So,
Right.
thank you for coming once again. I'm sorry you
Thank you.
had to do that.
You have photographs, et cetera. Thank you.
Sure. So I'll refer to the staff to take a look at this. Does anyone else? Yes, please.
Yes, my name is Ron Deneen, and I was here, I do believe, last year. And within a month, I got a letter from the county threatening to have a warrant sent to me to force me to have their contractors take care of my front yard, of which I had taken care of by the time I got that letter. Now, I don't take well to threats, especially when they want me to pay the $3,000 for the warrant and whatever cost it is for their contractors. And I got another one of their little blue letters earlier, or I should say last month. I just want to make it clear, I do not have any hazardous vegetation in my yard at all. If they say I would like to know what is considered hazardous vegetation as far as a fire hazard, then they will have to basically send letters to every single person, pretty much, it'd be 80 to 90% of the Campbell homeowners. I take a walk on a weekly basis around approximately 1 mile of my house. I have counted approximately 12 yards that have vegetation as far as, let's say, oxalis. And I don't think oxalis is basically hazardous vegetation. There are two properties on the intersection of Virginia and Connie Drive that are abandoned, whose entire yards are full of vegetation, including dry bushes. I drove around coming home from my house from the store yesterday. There are so many yards that are full of oxalis, it's not funny. And I just want to say at this point, I feel I am being harassed by the county in which they are harassing a disabled senior widow. I suffer from fibromyalgia. I've got arthritis in the lower spine along with spinal stenosis. I have arthritis of the hips. I've had both knees replaced. I also suffer from anxiety, depression, panic attacks, and PTSD. And to get these letters from the county saying they want to charge me if I do not take care of the stuff that they say I need to take care of, which I did by the time I got there, which I was going to have by the time I
Tell
got
you
there.
what,
It's just
if we have
ridiculous.
your contact information, I will refer the matter to our city staff and to the county to review this, and we'll get back to you.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here.
Ma'am, can you give us your property location again?
815 Maryland Drive.
Thank you.
Thank you. Does anyone else wish to address the council on this matter? Any further comments? Okay. We'll close the public hearing and ask the council for any comments that you'd like to make.
We have a county representative here. If there's any comments that we could ask the county
Yes,
representative.
did you want to make a comment?
Yes.
I'm sorry. Normally, you have to do this during the public hearing. That's why I asked for it. So if you have a comment.
Oh, I'm sorry. No, I'm from the county.
Yes.
Yeah, I was just here to offer to answer any questions and respond to the concerns raised by the
Okay,
residents.
so hopefully our staff will refer to you, the two people that were here tonight, for further review and between our staff.
Mr. Mayor, if I can, perhaps this gentleman from the county, he's in the weed abatement program, so maybe he can address the two properties that were raised tonight, if that's appropriate, at 904 Hazel Avenue and 815 Maryland Drive.
I can address both.
That'd be okay?
Oh, sure, of course, yeah.
Okay. Good evening, Mayor, members of the City Council. My name is Garrick Yoselewski. I'm the manager for the weed abatement program for the county's Consumer and Environmental Protection Agency. Just wanted to give some clarity on the two property owners who came tonight to speak to you. The first person, Ms. Knight, over on 904 Hazel, she did come to the City Council meeting last year, and the City Council did approve to remove her property from the list last year. I mistakenly did not remove her property from the list, and she remained on the list. And it was actually her and a few other properties that were in the same situation. I've now recognized that, and I have gone through and removed them from the list, and I will be going through the next step of the process to issue refunds to those property owners, including herself, to make sure that their property tax assessment for the inspections conducted are going to be reimbursed. So that's my statement for the first property owner.
Okay.
The second one on 815 Maryland, Ms. Noonan. Last year, she did also attend the meeting. I was instructed by the City Council to re-inspect her property during the season, and if her property was found to be in compliance, to remove the property from the list. On April 1st, our inspector did visit the property and observed that she did have grass and weeds on her property that were at least a foot high, and I have a photograph to show that. And so she failed the inspection that year. She did call our office on April 9th, and she spoke to my staff and to myself. She was very displeased with the fact that we went to her property and sent her a notice. I spoke to her and I told her that if she were to correct the violation by April 21st, that I would not charge any additional fees beyond the initial inspection fee. We did re-inspect the property on April 22nd, free of charge. It was in compliance at that time, and so there was no further action on that property. But the fact is that we did observe a violation of our minimum fire safety standards on her property on April 1st.
Okay, I thank you very much for your comments and presentation. That's helpful. Thank you.
Can I just
Yes.
ask a question? What is the status of that property then, as of now? If it's,
The one on Maryland Drive?
yes,
It is still in the weed abatement program, and we, through our process, will be continuing to inspect it annually to ensure it's being maintained, unless the council decides tonight to have the property removed from the list.
are there any fees associated with that process?
Yes, for our entire process, for doing inspections and any other follow-up work necessary, there are fees that are charged to the property owners.
Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Do you want me to stay up here to answer any additional questions?
Well, this lady has a question, but she would have to talk to you afterwards now, not during this meeting, because I've closed the public hearing.
Thank you. You're welcome.
What is the pleasure of the council? We would need, well, it would be appropriate to make a motion if you so chose.
Okay, I just wanted to make one comment that there was a property that had approached us, and we had actually interacted with Mr. Garrett, and he had resolved that issue as well. So there is a resolution process that they're very responsive to from a county level. I'd like to propose a motion to any other, do you have any? No.
Well, I just have a question that if we move forward with the recommendation that this property at Maryland Drive is still going to be on the list and the property owner is going to be subject to additional fee this year, if in fact she's in compliance, can we waive that fee?
I think the way to do it, just remove her, if she's in compliance, just remove her off the list so they wouldn't be spending time to go inspect it. I think that would be the best course of action.
But a year ago, she wasn't and was given an extension and a courtesy waiver of fees to get in compliance. So I just want to make sure that she's in compliance.
We could certainly request the county to do one final inspection of that to ensure compliance, and if so, then to remove her from the list if that's the pleasure.
So I'll propose a motion to proceed with the weed abatement and consider the adoption of a resolution directing the community development director to proceed with the weed abatement of hazardous vegetation with the final inspection of what's the property?
Maryland. 815 Maryland.
815 Maryland Drive, one final inspection of the Maryland Drive to, and if that's in compliance, to remove it from the weed abatement. That's my.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. Further discussion? We'll have a roll call, please.
Councilmember Lopez.
Aye.
Councilmember Hines.
Aye.
Councilmember Bybee.
Aye.
Mayor Furtado.
Aye. Thank you. We now move on to new business, cited 9.1, the proposed modification to the city council policy section 1.
Excellent, thank you.
Me again. So happy to follow up. So this is a follow-up from a proposed modification that was approved by council last November. I brought before City Council revisions to City Council Policy Section 10. In that policy, there was a large section of information about our Campbell Historical Museum and Ainsley House. And the Campbell Historical Museum and Ainsley House had a separate section within the council policies titled Council Policy Section 21. During that presentation, I assured you I would bring that policy back to you for the revisions because we didn't have them done at the time. So since that time, we've gone through them. We've cleaned up Council Policy Section 21. The information that's included in there has everything to do with the historical museums that are included within the city of Campbell, the Ainsley House, the Carriage House, and the Historical Museum and the garden areas that we have. We made some changes and updates to the descriptions and accessibility. We cleaned up some clarifying language, and we just made it all very concise and put it all together in there. I do want to say it's formatted a little bit differently than some of our other policies, mainly because these become one-page policy pages that get added to our permitting process. So there'll be one specific to day of rules and regulations. And so we just made it a little bit easier for staff to kind of print out sections on a one-page thing. I do also want to clarify that it was brought to my attention in the red line that under reservations and cancellations in Section 3, the subsection 2, the first item, it referenced forfeiture of fees. It should only be the security deposit that's forfeited in the event of that it's for cancellations, that would be always forfeited. The cleaning fee needs to be removed. So in the clean copy moving forward, that will not be included. So tonight's modifications are simply just to clean up this section, have clear policies for rentals of the Ainsley Garden and other museum spaces, and I'm happy to answer any questions from council.
Thank you, Natasha. Questions by members of the council?
Yeah, I just had one question. So I'm going through this on my annual company insurance, but are the insurance requirements up to par specifically on liability? Is that part of what you're looking at?
So that's all done through the attorney's office, and they're pretty standard for all of our rentals that we have, that they have to have the liability insurance and stating us as an additional insured. So yes.
Okay, thank you.
Natasha certainly isn't my biggest priority in this, but just to make sure I understand the recommendation, could you explain a little bit of the reasoning behind prohibiting not just hard liquor, which I certainly support, but also other kind of like high noon and
Sure.
because the only reason I ask is because those tend to be low ABV, generally speaking. So I just want to, I'm not gonna die on that hill, but I just want to make sure I understand.
That's okay. We have a beer and wine only, and those are not beer or wine. They become problematic because they can be snuck in easily. They look very much like a beer can. It's hard to tell which ones have high alcohol content and which ones don't. And if we allow a high noon, then they're going to say, why can't I have vodka? And so it becomes this slippery slope for us to enforce. And it's not something that we want to deal with, quite honestly.
So just for staff resources.
Yeah, and I think just across the board at all of our facilities, it's a beer and wine only. It seems to be a little bit more manageable when you're dealing with large crowds of people and you're having staff monitoring those events. And yeah, so we did this with our building use policy because we've always had beer and wine and champagne as the only things allowed, and we were finding people kind of bringing this in, or it was unclear, so we wanted to really spell it out that these things are not allowed.
That makes perfect sense. Thank you. Sure.
I have a few questions myself. First of all, thank you for removing the cleaning fee language there on that.
Thanks for the catch.
Yeah, that was good. The other thing I wanted to ask you about, people are allowed to have caterers come in and prepare food and so on. During that process, do they have any access to the sink that is in the carriage house?
I am not, I would assume that they have access to it. Most caterers, because there is no like kitchen facility, they come pre-prepped. So it's really just warming stations. They're not cooking on site.
The reason why I ask is I just felt that they needed some access to water. Sometimes things spill or they spill something on their hands or, you know, they just need a source of water. And I just feel that we should provide something so that they could wash their hands in the sink or something
Well,
like
they're
that.
using it too to fill their chafing dishes with the hot water too, because they're not bringing that in for sure. So there is some accessibility. They're just not, it's usually through the side. There's that kind of where the shed is and things. And that's where generally the caterers will go in and out of to access the kitchen. They're not accessing through the carriage house.
Oh, okay, well, they do have access to water though for that purpose.
But
Okay.
there's not like, it's not like a kitchen for them, but yes, they have access to wash hands and do all those things.
Right.
Yeah.
And then I noticed that, and obviously you're correct, you indicate that if it rains, there are no alternate interior spaces to. So, but in that situation, where if the storm is significant enough that they have to cancel the event, it seems to me that that's kind of an unpredicted thing and that we should refund their fees at that point in time as well.
Yeah, so we only book May through October, and October is iffy. So it's generally May through September and kind of an October thing. So rain on those during those months is highly unlikely. In that instance, it would probably be a discussion if it was like a complete downpour. Otherwise, we would advise some tenting of some sort or canopies and things like that for them to offset. Mm-hmm.
And I realize that in situations like this, there is some discretion for the city manager to waive some of those fees.
Yeah.
Finally, one of the concerns I have is, I know this would rarely happen, but if we, the city, within 2 weeks, written notice, cancel the venue because of some special city need, you know, hopefully that's very rare, I'm sure it is, but that kind of leaves people out on the lurch. I mean, if they've planned a wedding reception and so on, to try to find a substitute location at such a late time would be very difficult. Frankly, besides refunding all their fees, which I know is provided for, I really think we should pay a penalty. I mean, I think we should pay a stipend if we choose to cancel, you know, a perfectly good facility because something came up to meet our needs. It seems to me that we should reimburse them with, you know, like a $500 stipend because of all the problems they're going to suffer notifying everyone or changing the date or whatever.
I think ultimately what would happen in an instance like that is, you know, God forbid something happened and, you know, there was complete utter damage to the garden facility, a car accident comes through the fence or something and it's unusable. We would work to provide an alternative opportunity, you know, whether it's the reception's held on the green and the reception is held, the ceremony's on the green and the reception's at the banquet hall, you know, and we would be moving things around. It's not the first time we've, you know, we've deal with very infrequently, but we have double booked our community center before, you know, and we've had to work with people to kind of move events around on our campus to help accommodate. I think in an instance like that, where there was significant damage to the location, we would do our best. As far as paying a member of the public with public funds, that would not be within my scope of where I, you know, what I would have allowance to do.
Well, at least it's good to hear that we would actually work with them and make another space available, should that be available, say it's more than likely at the community center, one of the larger rooms or the banquet hall or half the banquet hall or something like that.
And, you know, we have park spaces where we don't normally allow tables and chairs to come in, and those are opportunities for the city manager to say, okay, we can do an alternative location. It's not exactly what you were looking for, but we would probably do our best to make those accommodations as best we could.
Okay, thank you. That concludes my questions. Yes.
Just very briefly on the last point, if it's helpful, I just have this in mind because this came up a number of times during city events the past year as mayor, and I just know if there was an existing reservation, we just looked at that date as being unavailable for, generally speaking, for city events. So I think it would be pretty rarely that it comes up, and probably in just truly unanticipated circumstances, not because we're just deciding to cancel.
It would be for something catastrophic, yeah. You know, that like something happened to the facility, not in the sense that the city needed the space for an event, for sure.
Yeah, which makes me more comfortable with it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you again, Natasha. Does any member of the public wish to address the council on this matter? I don't see, there's nothing online. What is the pleasure of the council on this matter?
I'll move to adopt the proposed modification to City Council Policy Section 21.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Lopez.
Aye.
Councilmember Hines.
Aye.
Councilmember Bybee.
Aye.
Mayor Furtado.
Aye. We now move to item 9.2, resolution adjusting the rates for Atchison, Barrisone, and Condati, and approving a one-time payment to the law offices of William Seligman for costs incurred. And I believe Assistant City Manager Angelique Gata will make the presentation.
Thank you, Honorable Mayor and members of the City Council. As the mayor indicated, this is a staff recommendation for the council to adopt a resolution to adjust the rates of Atchison, Barrisone, and Condati, as well as make a one-time payment to the law offices of William Seligman for $11,946. The reason behind this recommendation is that in fiscal year 25-26, Atchison, Barrisone, and Condati increased their rates. And during that period of time, provided supplemental legal services to assist our city attorney. And our city attorney in turn covered the increase in rates. So the resolution is to not only increase or adjust the rates for the law firm that's providing supplemental services, but also to reimburse our city attorney for covering those fees in fiscal year 25-26. The city attorney's fees will not change. They will remain the same with this resolution as they were set by the City Council on August 20th, 2024. So the retainer that was established on that date will remain for the city attorney, and that's the monthly retainer, as well as the hourly rates that he would be charging the city of Campbell. And with that, I'm happy to take any questions.
Thank you. Questions? Seeing none? Thank you. Does any member of the public wish to speak on this item? Seeing none, I'll ask the council for a recommendation or resolution.
I'll propose a motion to adopt the resolution adjusting rates of Atchison, Barrisone, and Condati, and approving a one-time payment to law offices of William R. Siegelman for costs incurred.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second by Councilmember Lopez. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Lopez.
Aye.
Councilmember Hines.
Aye.
Councilmember Bybee.
Aye.
Mayor Furtado.
Aye. Thank you. No unfinished business. And so now we go to council committee reports.
I don't specifically have any reports on meetings that I attended, but I did want to bring up an item that I feel is owed a response, and that being at the last council meeting, a public speaker addressed the city council regarding what he witnessed as inappropriate behavior by Vice Mayor Scazola. Unfortunately, the Vice Mayor did not respond at that meeting, and he chose not to attend the meeting tonight. So I believe the speaker is owed a response, and would ask that I'm proposing a motion that this matter be agendized for the next council meeting so that the Vice Mayor can either address the comments that were made and or the city council can discuss the complaint.
Do we have a second to the motion?
I'll second that.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion on this motion? We'll take a roll call vote, please.
Councilmember Lopez.
Aye.
Councilmember Hines.
Aye.
Councilmember Bybee.
Aye.
Mayor Furtado.
Aye. Thank you. Other council reports? Councilmember Lopez.
Well, yeah, not to continue being deviating a little from our usual reports. I did want to waive my reports today because there's another issue I wanted to speak to that we've been hearing about, getting a lot of questions about, and I know staff has been working hard on, but I do think we're at a point where council policy would help clarify and just put us on better footing. And that is specifically the issue of city policy with regard to ice staging potential actions on city facilities. I propose agendizing this for discussion at a future meeting. I've shared with city staff relevant policies that have been passed by other councils that they have looked at. And I believe we should speak to it on a future agenda.
Is that a motion?
That I would propose that motion to bring it back.
I'll second that.
Motion and a second. We'll do a roll call again, please. Thank you.
Councilmember Lopez.
Aye.
Councilmember Hines.
Aye.
Councilmember Bybee.
Aye.
Mayor Furtado.
Aye. Other council reports? Yes.
I'll do my council reports. So we've got the DCBA and chamber. The dates are all set. There's a wide range of events that we all love that are coming, and the dates are set. Thank you to staff on being able to work with the DCBA and chamber to get those accomplished, but get them on your calendar. So we got some activities that we're going to be asked to do on those. We had the West Valley Stormwater Chair. I attended that, and the chair is now Brian Mekachuk, Vice Chair Chuck Page, and the West Valley Recycling. I also attended, and the chair is now Chuck Page, and with the Vice Chair Brian Mekachuk. There is going to be in the planning stages with the West Valley Recycling a one-time annual hazardous material collection day. I know I've participated in those in the past, and they're very helpful for those. So as I tell them, I've got a quart jug of antifreeze that I've been sitting on my workbench for a year or more, and I look forward to being able to get rid of that. There was a Valentine Fun Run with 900 participants. It was phenomenal to be able to see that, and I couldn't limp along to participate, but I will next year, or in Oktoberfest. That's right. They told me to get there for Oktoberfest. There was a CERT annual work plan that was put together, maybe 100 or 200 that attended that. And that was excellent to be able to see the work plan for the CERT team. I had a great tour of the finance department. And then I continue to engage with San Jose, particularly D9. I went to the San Jose D9 community leadership breakfast. And it was quite an informative conversation that I had with the community leaders and the San Jose leaders, and I'm getting the sense they're quite appreciative of that. They're still the big girl on the block, and but we have a conversation, work with them. Then I want to do a shout out to the Country Women's Club of Campbell. They had 300 participants at their annual Crab Fest. And it was just a tremendous fundraiser and certainly a lot of fun. So great work by the Country Women's Club of Campbell. Thank you.
Thank you. I might add that that annual Crab Feast fundraiser raises money for their endowment program, specifically their scholarships for art and music students. So it's a great cause, and they've been doing many good things in our community for years. I had the opportunity to attend and speak briefly at the 134th anniversary of Campbell Heritage Day, now sponsored by the Chamber of Commerce. And the principal speaker there was our museum director, Carrie Perkins, who gave an excellent presentation on the water tower. But not only the water tower itself, the symbol of our city, but also previous water towers that existed that no longer exist, and the whole issue of water. Of course, we live in an environment where water is always a concern, and it's very important. And in the early days of the city, of course, it was very important to farmers as well. So her presentation was outstanding, and I always learned something new there. And then I had the opportunity to take the place of Councilmember Bybee attending the Cities Association monthly meeting. It was a good meeting. They always have a very robust schedule. One of the discussions there talked about the efforts being made to address human trafficking, which they are very concerned about. They were during the Super Bowl time. They also have that concern during the NCAA playoffs, basketball playoffs, as well in particular for the upcoming FIFA meetings. So there are projects in place to address this, a number of community volunteers and so on. And the Cities Association apparently, you can correct me, and at one of the earlier meetings, I guess, solicited members to indicate what they thought the 2 or 3 most important items that they felt the Cities Association should address during the year for further discussion. And they presented the results of that at the meeting. The top results were disaster preparedness. They also wanted to talk about the flock cameras or any other license plate readers in other cities, as well as public safety. And the third topic slips my mind here for a moment.
E-scooters.
I'm sorry?
E-scooters.
Oh, yes, e-scooters and e-bikes. There are state laws and regulations about that, but oftentimes the e-scooters and e-bike drivers do not observe traffic rules, dart in and out of traffic, don't obey stoplights, and so on. And so the Cities Association wanted to discuss that as well as one of their priorities. So those will be future discussion items. And I'm sure you'll report on them back to us. With that, I think that concludes our business for tonight's meeting. I thank everyone for coming, and I will adjourn the meeting. Thank you.